Hi everyone, my name is Dmitry and you're watching Decoded Frontend channel where we are talking about Angular and web development in particular. And in this video, I'm going to talk with you about the tool called Angular DevTools, which was released first time with Angular 12. And this is the tool which allows you to debug your Angular application, better see the structure of your application and things like that. It can remind you the Augury extension, which you might use, as I used to use this extension in order to debug my Angular apps. However, Augury didn't support the Ivy render when Angular DevTools supports it, and it works from Angular 9 and above. So let's get started to explore this extension and see what it brings to us. Let's get started.
So here you can see the official page for DevTools. You just navigate to this URL and you will see this page. And there is the quick introduction to this tool, and also here below you can see the link which leads to Chrome Web Store. This is the place where you can install this extension, so let's do it together. I just click add to the Chrome button and I just confirm that I want to add this extension. Here I can close it, and if you want to see this always in your extension bar, you can click on this button and then you can just pin this extension here. Right now it has the black background, which means that no Angular app is detected, so we have to navigate to some Angular application which is being run in development mode. And I have such application running. This is the application from my workshop about Angular material theming. The link with the promo codes and good discount will be in the video description, so you can check this out later. And let's just navigate to this application. And here you can see the application from the workshop, and now you see that the Angular logo turned into the red, which means that application in dev mode is being run. So we can open the DevTools by clicking Command Option I, and here you can see the tab Angular. So this is actually our extension, and if we navigate there, we will be able to see the component tree. You can see here we have the math toolbar, button component, math form field, and so on. You can navigate, you can first of all click on it to see different properties for it. Also, you can navigate by arrows down and up. You can search for some certain component like math icon and then press enter, and you can see that I jump to components which match this pattern. Also, I can use this tool called inspect element, and let me pull it a little bit down. And likewise with this tool, I can just hover over the component I need, and then I can just click on it, and this component will be automatically selected. So this button which I selected is highlighted here, and I can see different properties for this component. Also, I can double click here on this button component, and I will be navigated inside to this element, to the host element of this component inside the element tabs. And you can also interact with these properties. You can change the values and immediately see the feedback in your UI. So we can, as example, disable this button. I just replace it with a true, And if I save it, you can see this button turned into a disable state. So this is how you can interact with this. You can pick also some bit more sophisticated component like mat select, and besides properties here, you can see also outputs. Unfortunately, you cannot interact with outputs right here like you could do it in Augury. So you could emit the output and then see how your UI, how the rest of components reacts on your outputs. However, there is another way how you can interact with the component you selected. You can see this ng0 thing. Let me maybe zoom it a little bit. I hope it's better to see it now. And this variable means the reference to this certain component, mat select in our case. And you can go to the console and actually get reference to this variable, and you can see that this is the reference to mat select component, and you can basically read any value from this component or call any method of this component as well. And I can, as example, get reference to the trigger. You can see that this is the reference to the element. I can read the native element and call, as example, click method against this native element, and you can see that now we see this drop down, right? And this is how you can interact with your components. The last thing probably I wanted to show you is if you want to see the source code of some certain component, you can first select it somewhere here in this tree, and then just click this button, and you will be navigated to the source code of this certain component. You can see that's mat select right here, and see the source code. You can set up breakpoints and debug this component. So that's it about this components tab, and let's explore what is inside the profiler. And profiler, it is all about performance, and namely change detection debugging, because a lot of bottlenecks in Angular apps relate to change detection, and this is how we can debug it. First of all, you have to click this button in order to start recording, and now every change detection run is being recorded by Angular DevTools, and you have to just interact with some elements on your page in order to trigger change detection. As example, we can click on the start button, and you can see the vertical bar right here, and this bar indicates change detection circle run. And if you did enough interaction, you can stop the recording, and you can see that another bar has appeared. And let's click on them and see what it shows. So if you click on any of it, you will see the total time spent for this change detection run and the source which triggered this change detection. And we know that there are three things which might trigger change detection in Angular. Those are events like focus, click, mouse enter, whatever. And if these events have some handler, then HTTP call may trigger the change detection run. And if set timer or things like set interval was fired, those three things trigger change detection run. And in our case, we can see that the trigger was focus. And for another change detection run, it was event blur. You can actually use filter if you have a lot of change detection runs and you're looking for some certain one. You can use filter and filter by source as example. focus in my case, and you can see only change detection circles which were triggered by focus event, or you can use any another pattern, like you can filter by duration and things like that. And here below, let me a little bit pull it up, you can see the horizontal bars, and these bars indicate the component which was affected by this change detection cycle. And if you click on this bar, you will be able to see which exactly method was triggered by this change detection run and how much time it took. And you can check every component and see what was triggered. Mostly it's lifecycle hooks in our case, but it might be something else, some another methods. And these components, or these horizontal bars, they sorted by execution time. So the more time change detection spent in some certain components, the longer its length, and it will be placed at the top. So you will be able to find the most heaviest methods in your components and in your application. So the same way you can investigate another change detection run, and you can see that in this time our banner component spent 11 milliseconds there. And if we have a look at the source code for this banner component, you see that I do the console log right here, and for whatever reason it took 11 milliseconds. However, the first change detection run took only 0.32 milliseconds, but yeah, whatever. So this is how you can debug it. Another thing, you can switch between different views, and you can use the tree map, which looks like this. I actually don't really like this view. For me, the most favorite one is a flame graph, and flame graph, it represents tree of application components. And let me quickly show you how to read this flame chart. So this is the entire application, our app component, and it means that this app component has as a child how much? 5 another components: mat toolbar, banner component, mat form field, mat button, and mat card. Those you can see all on this page. So this is the toolbar, this is our banner, this is the form field. Next to form field we have a button, material button, and there is our mat card. And inside the application you can see here's this toolbar, app banner, then we have mat form field, this one, then we have this button, here is this button. So basically here we have the vertical representation in this view, but here it's represented in horizontal view. And also you can see as example mat card, and it has 4 another components like mat card header, I believe. However, you can double click on this certain component to extend the view, and you can see that mat card consists from header, image, content, and card actions. And if we go to the source code, and indeed we can see the mat card, and mat card has header, it has the image, it has content, and it has actions. And actions has 2 buttons, exactly what we see right here. So this is how you can read this flame graph. And you can also click this checkbox, and it will highlight the components which were affected by change detection run. So once we click on the button, we see that we're application component affected, banner component, mat form field, and what is that? Mat select. So those components which were affected by change detection. And if you have some troubles with understanding what's going on right here, you can save this profile and it will generate the JSON file for you. You can then send this file to some, I don't know, your colleague who might be a bit more experienced with Angular, and then you can restore this profile by uploading those files which was generated like this, and you can open it and this recording will be restored so you can share with your colleague and he or she can also investigate this certain record. Alright guys, it was everything I wanted to tell you today and I hope you enjoyed it. And of course, I would like to hear your opinion. What do you think about Angular DevTools extension? Did you find it useful or maybe not so? Please share your thoughts in the comment section.